What's up YouTube? HoneyBee here bringing you another EVO bracket video. But in this one, the brackets are actually really good. They actually went ahead and they changed the brackets. If you saw my last video about why they were terrible, I went over a lot of the reasons why the brackets just didn't make sense. But they have since adjusted the brackets. I don't think it was because of my video. A lot of people were talking about it on Twitter and stuff, and they knew things had to be changed, so they ended up changing it. I'll go over basically the whole thing now, and I can probably actually give my predictions now for what I think some of the outcomes of some of these things will be. The one thing I will note though is the whole thing where they have basically a top 8 seed for players, like separated into pools. If you make it out of your pool and that, you go straight to winners round 2, which are these people here. Whereas if you're in like pools 9 through 24, you actually have to play an extra match. They never changed that. EVO kind of like has done this in the past, and where like if you make it out of your pool in winners and you're like a top seed, you just get a bye through to round 2. I know they did it before in Justice 1 for like the first EVO I ever attended, and I guess they're still doing that, and I guess they're not planning to change that. So unfortunately for anyone in these pools here, they're just gonna have to play that extra match. For anyone here, then you kind of luck out because you don't have to play as many matches to make top 8 if you were to make it out of your pool in winners. But with that said, one thing I will note as well is that you can see here Sonic Fox is still not a top 8 seed, and the reason for that is because he's playing Dragon Ball at the same time. Like both of them are 8 a.m. Friday slots, so they don't want any conflictions, I think, with that. So that's why Dragon Ball is like Sonic Fox's main game now. So they're keeping him a top seed in Dragon Ball, and they're just moving him down in Injustice, which kind of sucks for the top seed of Injustice, my brother, because this means now that Sonic Fox got moved to 9th seed, and 9th seed ends up being in the path of the 1st seed for top 8. So that's kind of just how it works out. It is unfortunate, but I'll go over the changes because my path got completely shifted. I will just say right now, before they had me as the 6th, so they did previously, before the changes, they had the seeds were Bio, Tweety, Samij, Gross, and then they had Nubcakes because they just switched Nubcakes and Sonic Fox, and then they put me, Hayate, Scar, and then Sonic Fox. So what they did was they actually switched me to 5th seed, Hayate to 6, Scar to 7, and then Nubcakes to 8. So that means the 4 of us have completely different paths, but a lot of the pools got shifted anyways. So let's go over what all these new pools are going to be, and I'll just give a quick breakdown of some of my predictions. So as you can see here, Bio is still 1st seed, but now you can see that his path here is going to be easier, theoretically, because he has unknown players that like aren't top seeds or anything. For anyone wondering, the whole purpose of seeding is essentially just to balance out a bracket. They do this in any kind of sporting or competition type things where best players, like the number 1 and the number 2 seed, are always going to be as far apart as possible, just because technically, like, if they are the best, they've technically earned like the right to not have to play each other until the end of a tournament, assuming that they keep winning. It doesn't make sense for like the 2 best players to like be in the same pool or have to fight after pools when they're like quote unquote the 2 best players. So the way seeding works is just to properly separate people and balance it so that the cream of the crop is supposed to end up at the end. Whereas if all the good players are on like one section and then there's a bunch of randoms in another section, then you could have like someone really good from the top section that makes it, but then maybe like someone unknown Bob from the bottom ends up making it too, and it's not exactly fair because they didn't have to fight anyone that hard to get there. So like seeding is very important. And this is the way it is right now, is if you're the top seed, you're probably going to have an easier path to the winners finals of your pool. Once anyone makes it out of pools, though, it's always going to be a bloodbath. There's always going to be lots of really strong players. But we see that here at the other end of the bracket, we have Infinity over here, who did pretty well at CEO. She beat Slayer, and was really hype. If you saw my vlog, you saw how the reactions were to that. And ATP is actually here as well, who he just got 4th place at KIT Texas, or KI Texas, or whatever it is. He actually ended up eliminating Scar in like a really good set. You guys could watch that as well if you look up like KIT Texas, I think, Injustice 2. It was like yesterday, it just happened. But yeah, so ATP is going to be here with Infinity on the bottom end. The name Fatality is familiar, but I don't really know anyone else here. So my obvious prediction is for Bio to be making it out winners. And since ATP showed such a strong performance by beating Scar, I'm going to say he's going to make it out in losers. That's my prediction for that. Here we have Tweety. So Tweety no longer has basics in his pool. Whether or not they changed that because they're like training partners or whatever, I don't know. But we see here that Killer Jinoc has been moved in as like the 2nd seed of the pool, I would say. For those of you that don't know, Killer Jinoc's a very strong Flash player from Brazil. He qualified for E-League last year, but he doesn't really get the opportunity to travel to tournaments that much. But he does go to EVO. I think he actually went to Combo Breaker. Yeah, he went to Combo Breaker and he won Mortal Kombat, but then I don't think he did that well in Injustice. But yeah, so Killer Jinoc's going to be here with Tweety. Obvious prediction is Tweety in winners, Killer Jinoc in losers. I don't really know anyone else here, I don't think. So next is here, Samij. So as you can see, a lot of like the top seeds will have a lot of names here that are unseeded names, so you don't really know who they are. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Maybe they're like really strong players and you just don't know about it until they actually make an upset and beat someone, and that's always hype to see. But from my thoughts is Samij will definitely make it out in winners, with Vendetta being the 2nd seed making out in losers. A lot of people here that I'm very unfamiliar with. Next up, Gross is here. The name Sundula is familiar. Nikki is a strong player. Perfect Legend, I don't know. Is he actually playing? I thought he was actually done with NRS games. So I don't know what's going to go on there, but I think Gross will definitely make it out in winners, with Nikki making it out in losers. I don't think Perfect Legend even plays this game. Then this is my pool now. So my pool is completely different. This Oddish Amigo is actually a white boy's girlfriend here, so I may or may not have to fight her. Euphoring, I think, is supposed to be a fairly strong player. And then I also have Big D in my pool, who's like the 2nd seed, and DJ Homies is another like strong player, but I think he's more focused on Dragon Ball now than Injustice. So Big D is probably gonna, I would think, as long as I can make it here, I think I'll end up fighting Big D. And yeah, so then that'll be that. Next pool, Hayate. Hamu is actually going, he's from the Middle East. If anyone watched Vianality or my breakdown of my Vianality matches, I actually did fight him on stream. I ended up double eliminating his Cheetah. And the weird thing is that Hayate, he got 6-0'd by my brother's Cheetah, and now he has to fight Hamu's Cheetah. So I hope Hayate has been grinding that matchup so he knows what's going on. Tony Jabreaker's here as the 2nd seed, online Poison Ivy player. Sidelock is here too. He's like a Bonehawk / Hive dude, and my prediction is for Hayate to make it out in winners, with, I'm gonna say, Sidelock and losers. I have a feeling. So that's my prediction there. Scar. This pool actually has Dijon, the Sub-Zero player, come in here against Scar. Hero Killer Stain, really strong Cyborg player. So like a lot of these stuff got completely shuffled around. Skeezer's here too, but I'm gonna say Scar winners Hero Killer Losers. Let me go on. Nubcakes is going to be here with, I'm not too sure who these guys are. Waz is coming all the way from Australia though, and Revolver is going to be here, and Newbie is going to be here. I don't know if Revolver even really plays this game anymore. I have no idea who he uses. Newbie's always been a strong player, so he has the potential to upset. This is actually one of the more tough pools, I think, because Nubcakes, Waz, and Newbie, all really strong players, and Revolver, I don't really know what to expect from him, but I'm gonna think that Nubcakes is gonna make it out winners because he's been so strong with I don't know, Waz or like I'm thinking maybe Waz, but it's gonna be between Waz or Newbie for the loser side of this, I think. And so this is going to be the 9th seeded pool where Sonic Fox is now going to be here, and he will make it out in the winners, I will say for certain. And I'm going to say there's Noodles and Raj here, but I think Noodles is going to make it out in losers of this pool. Rewind's pool, B501. He has Krusty here as the 2nd seed, and Rewind Krusty probably going to make it out. So this is why it's kind of important for seeding is I'm going through a lot of these pools, and I think it's pretty easy to predict like who's gonna, the 2 people that are gonna make it out of pools. But that's kind of how it should be, because if you have pools where it's like 4 or 5 different people can make it out, it probably means you have other pools where one person is just a shoo-in because it's just so obvious that they're going to make it out, and then it's just going to be like some dude that probably didn't have a tough path to make it out. So it's probably best that it's done this way so that after pools it becomes a lot more cutthroat. Otherwise, like, you'd have people making it out of pools and they would just get completely washed after. Here we have Tekken Master. Zen Furby was actually a Superman player back in Injustice 1. It looks like he's actually coming out to play again. That's pretty cool. John Nitty's here. I don't remember if Chico's good or not. Goodav's, I know he streams sometimes. I think he's pretty good. But yeah, Tekken Master, obvious pick to make it out in winners with probably John Nitty, I would say, in losers. His Firestorm has always been looking, it's been looking pretty crisp, I would say. So here we are with White Boy in this pool. Don't really know anyone here, but he has Jay in his pool. Dragon is here, but for those of you that don't know, Dragon has quote-unquote retired from Injustice 2. He's gonna come back when the next probably Mortal Kombat game comes out, but for now, yeah, he's kind of done competing, so he's just a buy essentially. Zyfox is gonna get a buy. This pool has White Boy, Jay, and Zyfox as the main guys. I'm gonna say that White Boy makes out in winners with Jay in losers. Jay is really strong Poison Ivy player. Silver Eye over here. The only person I recognize is Flappy, so Silver Eye winners, Flappy losers. That's kind of the prediction. Deoxys is here. I see Lumia. Okies is here. And Armor. Monkey Business is a dude from Buffalo, but Deoxys is the easy pick for winners, and I'm gonna say Okies and losers. Gur is here. So this pool is actually kind of stacked. Like, it's not well it's like pretty strong, I would say, because Gur is here, obvious top seed. DJT is here, who is like an NRS god, like, but he doesn't really play the game. He doesn't really travel that much, but you can never really sleep on DJT. Titanium Tigers, very strong player, and Blackout, really strong Red Hood player. So there's at least 4 like really strong players here, where I personally probably would have put DJT into a different pool that was a little bit like that had 2 guys that were kind of obvious shoo-ins, because this one has like 4 guys. But like DJT, the thing is he's not really seeded because he doesn't compete in the game. But I'm still gonna say Gur makes it out in winners with I'm gonna say Blackout or DJT. Honestly, I feel like it could be DJT, Titanium Tigers, or Blackout in losers. It's kind of hard to call, I think. And here we have Shark Teeth is another top seed here. Matrix here. Sounds like Pause here. But yeah, I think Shark Teeth and Pause making out winners, losers. Ominous is here. He actually has Big Boy in his pool. I don't know if Big Boy takes this game seriously, but I know he's always been a strong player. Revit Leafing is here. Punk is here. I don't know if Punk actually really plays. I think this guy's actually from Philippines. I've read some comments in my last video, people saying he's from Philippines. That's pretty cool for someone to travel from Philippines to play Injustice 2. But yeah, Ominous, winners, Revit Leafing, losers, I think. I don't think Punk really plays the game anymore. Katana Prime is here, and he has... Who does he have? Jackal's here. Han Rashid's here. No one else is really on the bottom end. Quake is a dark side player. I'm actually going to say that Han Rashid makes out in winners, and KP makes out in losers. That's my guess, because I've been hearing good things about Han Rashid. Although KP was looking super strong at Vianality, so you never know. But here we are. Forever King is here. I don't even remember. Does Osmo play Flash? I can't remember. Young Monster is here. And my boy Patient Impulse is here. Interesting. If Patient Impulse can beat Young Monster, I think he'll make it out in I would like to see him make it out in winners, because I'd love to see the upset. But maybe losers, but most likely King in winners. If Young Monster beats Patient Impulse, then yeah, Young Monster's gonna make it out as well. Although Young Monster could actually beat King as well. I think Wonder Woman does pretty alright against Batman, so maybe Young Monster in winners. That one's a little bit harder to call, I think. I think that could go either way with them. I'm not 100% sure if Foxy's going to EVO or not. I'm not 100% sure, but 2Easy's here and Slips is here. I'm gonna say that Slips makes it out in winners of this pool with Foxy and losers. But if he doesn't go, then it's gonna be 2Easy, I'm gonna say. But I think Slips is gonna make it out in winners. That's my prediction. Nyx here, Basics here. King Hippo's coming out to play again, but definitely I'm gonna say Nyx in winners and Basics in losers. Here we are. Theo is here with Coach Steve, and that's the only names that I know. So Theo winners, Coach Steve losers. Buffalo's here. Joshua Gray is here. Dizzy is here. Guamo's here. I'm gonna say Buffalo winners, Dizzy losers. And do they have fantasy brackets for EVO? I'm gonna have to check that. Illusions is here. Dab is here. I'm gonna say Illusions winners, Dab losers. I don't really know other names. So that's gonna round out pools. If we look into the finals, the predictions here is auto-generated. A lot of it is what I have predicted, with like exceptions of like this one would actually be Slips if Slips makes it out of his pool in winners. This one would be what was it? This one would have been Han Rashid instead if Han Rashid makes it out in winners. So just little changes here and there. But that's kind of what it's looking like. This one could be Young Monster potentially. But yeah, that's kind of what's happening. I think these two will probably be the ones making it out. Yeah, unless Basics makes like an upset or something. But if as long as I can make it my pool in winners, this is going to be my path. I'll be in this little bubble of players to make top 8 winners, where I'd probably have to fight like either White Boy or Nyx at this point, and if I were to win for top 8, it would be most likely Silvereye or Gross, potentially Slips. If Slips makes it out and makes like big upsets and stuff like that. But that's kind of what my path would be if I were to, let's say, make it here and get sent to losers like the brackets predict. Then I'd be put down here where they predict me fighting Rewind or something. But looking at a loser's bracket to predict, that's kind of hard to do. But yeah, that's kind of what's happening. So if I were to predict, I think from this little group of people, I would think my brother and Bio and Sonic Fox would be the ones making top 8. I think from this bubble, I'm just gonna say myself because I want to make top 8. Myself and I want to say it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be down to Gross and Silvereye, if I'm gonna be here. But I think Silvereye might take it. He's been like super hungry. He can definitely do it. Here, definitely. I'm gonna say Tweety and Rewind are gonna be the ones making it from here. If it's not gonna be Tweety and Rewind, I think it's gonna be Gur and Rewind. And here I'm gonna say Deoxys and Hayate. Ooh, damn, I'm not gonna put some Siege in there though. That's hard. Oh, that's hard. But I'm gonna say Deoxys and Hayate are gonna be the ones making it from here. So those are my predictions for who's gonna make top 8, how the brackets are gonna run, and whatever. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.